know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. 6'7", okay? Size 15 shoe. No, I'm not a professional basketball player. Yes, I can play basketball. No, I will not do it for you. Yes, I can dunk the ball. No, I will not do that for you. Yes, I played basketball in high school. No, I did not play basketball in college. Yes, I enjoy the sport. No, I do not know any professional basketball players, okay? Those are the questions I get everywhere I go, no matter who I see. Why? I'm a walking stereotype. 6'7", black man, bald head, got to be a ball player, am I right? It's okay, I'm used to it. Everywhere I go. Do you play basketball? Do you play basketball? Do you play basketball? I say, no, I'm really into miniature golf. Me and that windmill, I get it every time, right? Well, obviously, my name is Steve. I do stand tall. It all kind of works well together. Now, no matter where I go, no matter who I speak to, I always do a little public service announcement for the world of tall people. I'm sure you've seen us wandering around amongst you. You may have had questions about tall people, but you've just never asked. So let me just bear with me and I can kind of go over this. Because there's some things that are absolutely wonderful about being tall, and there's some not so great things about being tall. Number one thing about being tall that's not so great, cars. Yeah, cars. Yeah, you guys can hop in and out of every car you want. Doesn't work that way in my world. Those little cars, what do you call those little things? Those minis, Fiats, the smart cars, those are cute. Yeah, right? No, they're terrible little death traps. I hate those things. I got to fold up like origami in order to fit inside of them. So cars are no good. Another thing not so great about being tall, airplanes. Airplanes, yeah. You think you have no leg room in an airplane? I have no leg room in an airplane. Every time I get into a plane, I immediately start to pray. And I don't pray that the plane stays in the air. I pray, please don't lean the seat back. Please don't lean the seat back. Please don't lean the seat back. And what do I do every time? Lean the seat right into my knees. It's crazy. And then on the plane, you have the headrest, right? Nice, comfortable headrest. Yeah, but that's in the middle of my back, all right? So I have hunched over, no leg room. The flight attendant, are you comfortable? Does it look like I'm comfortable, yeah? I just got off the no-flight list. It was a little issue. Don't worry about it. So what do you have? We have cars, we have airplanes, clothing. Trying to find clothing when you look like me is not that easy. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. There's the big and tall man section or the big and tall sections in the stores we can go to. Here's the problem. They think you need to be big and tall to shop there. I get a shirt and it looks like a muumuu. It's like all this extra girth all around here. I just keep tucking it in. So we have cars, we have airplanes, clothing, doorways, ceiling fans, shower heads, spider webs. These are all major issues in the world of tall people. So those are the things that are not so great about being tall. Now, on the other hand, there's some things that are amazing, fabulous about being tall. Number one thing with me, random autographs. People think I'm famous. It's crazy. It's everywhere I go, they automatically think I'm some famous ball player. They just walk right up to me. Hey, who are you? Steve, who are you? It's crazy. It's all the time. And you know what? The one place where it happens the most, where do you think it happens the most, where people just walk up to me? Anybody have a clue? Yeah, she got it. Yeah, airports. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on in airports. It's like I'm a walking display case. They just walk right up to me. Real quick story. Years ago, when I first got married, my wife and I, we went to the country of Greece for our honeymoon. Country of Greece. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful place. Now, the national sport in Greece is soccer, or football as they say, but a very, very close second is, what do you think? Basketball. Yes, they love United States basketball. So I get there, and you think I look like a ball player now. You should have saw me back in my 20s. It was crazy. So I get to Greece, and the Greeks they're not shy. They walk right up to me. I get there and, hey, UNBA. Kept asking if I was in the NBA. I kept telling them, no. My wife said, idiot, yes. I said, I am? Yes, UNBA all day. I said, oh, okay. They're like, yeah, I'm NBA. Oh, you're amazing. You're so good. What team? I said, Timberwolves. Nobody knows who's on the Timberwolves, right? I got free drinks, free meals, free tickets. It was wonderful. I was like, oh, no, please stop. I can't take it. It was great. So, yeah, people think I'm famous. It was wonderful. So when we were in Greece, we went to this cute little cafe on Mykonos, beautiful little island in Greece. And we went there, it was right next to the water, beautiful windmills in the distance. I guarantee you, if you go there right now, there's a picture of me and the owner like this. He thought I was famous. I got a free shrimp cocktail, it was great. So people think I'm famous. I can get all this stuff off the top of the shelves in the grocery store. A lot of y'all can't do that, right? And when I'm in the grocery store, I make sure you little people aren't down the aisle before I go down, because what are you gonna do? Ask for help. You help me, right? Yeah. And you know, I'm a nice guy. I help everybody. Little old lady's not afraid of a big guy when she wants to get that rice off the top of the shelf. I know that, right? She's like, can you help me? I'm like, yeah, here you go. And then she's like, you know. No, I don't really do. Yeah, actually, yes, I do. Yeah, clean up aisle 4, girl. I'm not getting you. So people think I'm famous. I get stuff off the top of the shelves. At a concert, I have a perfect view every time. So there you go. There's your public service announcement for the world of tall people. There you go. Now you know. Now you know. Well, here's the thing, gang. Here's the thing, gang. When I was growing up to become a tall person, I hated it. I hated it. I didn't like it. 8th grade was the year that everything went nuts for me. In the beginning of 8th grade, I was 5'8". At the end of 8th grade, I was 6'3". 5'8" to 6'3". Now, this isn't one calendar year. This is one school year. From the first day of school to the last day of school, I grew about 7 inches. You want to talk about growing pains? I had them. It hurt. I was 13 years old. I wore a size 13 shoe. You want to see something funny? Watch me go up some steps. I was constantly tripping over my feet. My feet hurt. My knees hurt. My legs hurt. My back hurt. My arms hurt. I hated becoming a tall person. Now, being 13 and tripping over my own 2 feet, legs, back, arms hurting, on top of all those things, I also started to have anxiety. I started having these anxiety attacks, specifically at night before I went to bed. And the reason why I would have these anxiety attacks at night is because I knew I was not going to make it through the night without waking up in pain. Because that's when you grow. You grow when you're sleeping. And every night I kept waking up with cramps and pain, so I started having these anxiety attacks at night before I would go to bed. Now, back when I was growing up, they weren't called anxiety attacks. They were called shut up and go to bed. I hated becoming a tall person. So here I am, 13 years old, big feet, knees, legs, back, arms hurt, anxiety at night. And then I started having another problem. I started having chest pains. And I'm not talking like little chest pains, little twinges. It felt severe chest pains. It felt like I was almost having a heart attack. It would come out of nowhere. I'm walking along in the hallways in school, and all of a sudden, boom, it would hit. Sometimes it would hurt so bad I would fall to the ground. It would last 5, maybe 10 seconds or so. Friends would come, teachers would come, nurse would come, hold me in the nurse's office for observation. It would happen once a day, sometimes twice a day, even 3 times a day. I hated becoming a tall person. Now, the chest pains became so severe and so frequent that eventually my parents were like, look, we got to get this checked out. So they took me to a specialized children's doctor to get me checked out, and they did all the things, the scans and the blood works and everything like that. And ultimately, what they did is they put a Holter monitor on me. Now, for those who don't know what a Holter monitor is, it's these little sticky tabs they put all over your chest, and then these wires go down into this bag, and it measures your heart throughout the day. Because they wanted to make sure that my heart was keeping up and things were going well. So here I am in 8th grade, big feet tripping over myself, knees, legs, back, arms hurt, anxiety attacks, chest pains, and I'm carrying a purse. Because that's what it looked like, a big old brown purse. Anybody deal with middle school kids back in the 80s, any kid walking around with a big brown purse, it wasn't funny. I got made fun of a lot because I had to wear it multiple times during my 8th grade year. I hated becoming a tall person. So big feet, legs, back, arms hurting, anxiety at night, chest pains, carrying around a purse, and I started to do one more thing. I started to slouch. You ever seen somebody who slouches, who just doesn't stand up straight, poor view of themselves? That was me. I slouched over for a couple of reasons. 1, I didn't like the fact I was standing out from everyone else around me. And 2, I actually felt bad for people I was standing close to because I literally felt like I was towering over them. So I thought if I hunched over, I could blend in better. I was a pathetic sight in 8th grade. It wasn't good. Well, one day, I'm walking home from school, and where I grew up in southern New Jersey, I'm a New Jersey guy. I grew up in southern New Jersey, a little town called Salem. It's a walking town. Everybody walked. So I'm walking home from school one day with a friend of mine. Her name's Danielle. Now, Danielle lived on 7th Street. I lived over on 9th Street. So as we get to 7th Street, we can see her house right ahead. We're walking along, and eventually Danielle says, Steve, stop. I said, stop? What do you mean stop? She said, stay still. I said, why? She said, just stay still. Why? Just do it. Okay, fine. She walks around behind me. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? She says, turn around and stay still. I said, okay, fine. She took one hand, she put it on my shoulder. She took her other hand, she balled it up into a fist, and punched me in the middle of my back. I was like, girl, what is wrong with you? And I wasn't a big fighter, so I was like, girl, what you doing? What'd you punch me in my back for? Now, obviously, when she grabbed my shoulder, punched me in the back, it made me arch my back and made me stand up straight. She spun me around, she looked me square in the eye, and she said, Steve, you're a tall person. Stop trying to be small and stand tall. That's when it clicked. That's when I realized I wasn't being who it is I'm supposed to be. I'm a tall person, and here I am trying to make myself smaller, and it didn't take until she punched me in the back for everything to become clear to me all of a sudden at that moment. I was like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What is going on? I'm going to be tall. Now, let me explain my family, all right? My father, 6'6". My mother, 5'9". My brother, 6'6". My sister, 5'10". My grandfather, my father's father, 6'10". I'm going to be tall. like this is happening. You could just look at the family. You could tell what's going on. But I was fighting it. And it took her punching me in my back for me to realize this. So when I left 7th Street and walked home to 9th Street, I did a lot of thinking. It's one of those moments where you remember it so well. I was thinking about the kind of kid I was, who I was, and how people saw me in everything that I did. And I was thinking about the kind of kid I was in school and what it is that I did. Now, let me pause again. Let me explain the type of kid I was in school. I was a kid that loved school. I loved everything about school. To me, school was the social mecca of all kids my age who came together every day and you taught me stuff. Are you kidding me? I loved it. And I was in everything. I was in student government. I was class president. I was in student government. I was in the band. I was in the art club. I was in the chess club. I was in the debate club. And I wasn't just in it. I was like president, vice president, secretary. Like I was that kid. I was all in. And when I was walking home from 7th Street to 9th Street, I was thinking about the fact that I'm a leader. I'm a leader in school. And I came to the realization that leaders are not supposed to blend in. They're supposed to stand tall. They're supposed to stand out. That's what makes them a leader. It doesn't matter if you're 4'2" or if you're 7'3". You can stand tall in everything that you do. It's how you carry yourself, how you interact, the decisions you make, the people that you're around. And I figured this out in 8th grade. From that moment on, I changed everything about myself. I changed the way I walked, the way I carried myself, the way I thought about things. It began my trajectory looking into leadership, looking into communication, looking into relationships. And here's the thing. The anxiety attacks at night, they stopped. The chest pains stopped. It's that mindset that you have. Now, I don't know about you, but I truly believe that education is one of the most noble professions on earth. And every educator, every adult in the school is a leader because the students are watching everything that you do and everything that you don't do. They're listening to everything that you say and everything that you don't say. And there's definitely connections with the world of tall people and leadership and educators and moving forward and having that positive mindset of how you relate and connect with other people. So that's what we're going to focus on today. The specific title of my talk today is Bridging the Divide. Cultivating leaders, culture, and innovation. So during our time today, hopefully I'm going to give you some ideas, some concepts, some understandings as it relates to the world of leadership, education, and culture and climate. How to make those connections, how you can implement them into what it is that you do, your relationships, your connections in the world of education to take it to the next level. Sounds like a plan? Think we can do that? All right, all 5 of you. We're killing it today. We're killing it today. No, we're going to have a good time. So we're going to dump into these things, give you these concepts and understandings, and then we're going to let you have an amazing, awesome conference, all right? So the first thing that I really want to jump into is the importance of communication. Now, I get it. Usually a lot of times when I talk with educators or talk with people, they're saying, I get communication. Listen more, talk less. But I would like to actually take a little different angle, if I may, with this, if that's okay, as it relates to communication. Now, as I mentioned before, 8th grade was crazy for me. Big feet, legs back, arms hurt, chest pains, had to carry the purse for the Holter monitor hunched over. On top of all of those things, my voice was jacked up. I'm not talking a little jacked up. I mean, my voice, I like to say, was toe up from the flow up. I mean, it was bad. I went out of my way most of 8th grade not to talk. So one day, I'm in a social studies class, and my teacher, his name was Mr. Bond. Now, let me give you a mental image of Mr. Bond. Mr. Bond is a very tall and formal man. He walks slowly and he speaks slowly. He looks like Abraham Lincoln, going bald with a mustache, okay? There's Mr. Bond. Now, Mr. Bond is old school. He's an old school teacher, meaning that he sat every single classroom in perfectly straight rows, alphabetically every single class. You don't misbehave in Mr. Bond's class. Did anybody have a Mr. Bond type teacher at one point in their life? Okay, good. We all understand who we're dealing with now. So I'm in social studies class, Mr. Bond. My last name is B. Bollar. There are no A's. I sat in the front row right next to the door. So as you know, my voice was toe up from the flow up. Mr. Bond says, Mr. Bollar, please read the next paragraph. Now remember, my voice is toe up from the flow up. Yes, that's right, flow. Very good, not floor, flow. That means just really bad, all right? So what do? I start doing some internal dialogue. This man is crazy if he thinks that I'm going to read this paragraph in front of everybody with my voice toe up from the... Nope, that's not happening, not today. Mr. Bollar, did you hear me? Please read the next paragraph. He can keep on talking because that's not what I'm going to do. Embarrass myself in front of everybody with my voice toe up from the... Nope, I'm not even going to look at him. Shoot, forget you. Mr. Bollar, either you read the next paragraph or you'll be after school with me. All right, we got a problem now. Yeah, I can't get in trouble again. My father will kill me. I just got off punishment. Let me explain my father. 6'6", Pentecostal minister, military man from West Virginia. Yeah, I'm not telling you what's happened, but I think y'all know what's going to happen, right? He will give me the right hand of fellowship and a good foot of faith if I get in trouble one more time. All right? Inner dialogue. All right. Okay, I can't deal with my dad. If he finds out, he's going to kill me. I can't deal with that. You know, this paragraph is not that long. If I clear my throat, I could do this. Come on, Steve, you got this, man. You got this. Come on. So I pick up my book. All right, you got this. Mind you, I'm saying this within seconds in my head. Here we go, come on. Today, Mr. Bollar. Okay, all right, here we go. In 1843, I went I read the entire paragraph. Now, it wasn't that bad, but to me, it was that bad. I sat there with my head down. Oh, my life is over. I can't believe I did that. Oh, my purse is beeping. Oh, God, not now. Now, believe it or not, it was silent in that classroom. Nobody laughed. I knew if I turned around and looked at everyone, they would look at me just like this. Oh. Now, I sat there with my head down. I was mortified. I was just done. Now, I wasn't too worried about the ladies in the classroom. I wasn't too worried about most of the fellas in the classroom. I was actually worried mostly about one person, Marcus. Marcus sat in the last row, and he was the biggest bully in school. Marcus stood 4 foot nothing, but he was the biggest bully in school. You can picture him right now, can't you? You can see him. You can see what he looks like. Just so you know, he has like a Michael Jackson Jerry curl. It was the 80s, y'all. It was the 80s, all right? So I begin again. Oh my gosh, Marcus is there. He's going to get on a chair and then jump on me or make fun of me. I'm done. So I sat there with my head down. I did nothing else. Now, Mr. Bond, being the good teacher he was, he continued on as if nothing happened. At the end of class, everybody gets up and leaves. I'm still at my desk with my head down. Mr. Bond calls me over. Mr. Bollar, please come here. I go over. Yes, Mr. Bond. Why didn't you tell me you had this problem? How was I supposed to tell you? Well, just let me know when it's over. Okay. So I turn to leave, and who is standing right outside the door against the lockers? Marcus. Yes, 100% true story. I begin again. What can I do? There's Marcus there. Wait a second. I'm like 5'11" right now. I could take him. I could do this. So I go get my things off the desk. I stand in the doorway. All right, Marcus, what do you want, man? What? He doesn't say a word. He's aware. He just points over there, points to the stairwell. He's pointing to the stairwell, and we all know the beatdown takes place in the stairwell. Marcus does this. I do this. I just cracked myself up here. That sounded wet, didn't it? Oh, that was crazy. Okay, all right, here we go. Here we go, back in character, here we go. So Marcus is back and forth. So eventually, here's the thing. My friend Jason, he comes over and he stands next to Marcus, who I have not seen yet today. But Marcus is there, Jason is there, I'm doing the math. And Jason's a bigger wuss than I am, right? So I'm thinking 2 wusses, 1 bully, we got this. So I stand in the hallway. All right, Marcus, what do you want, man? What? Neither of them say a word. They just immediately go to the stairwell. They walk all the way down to the bottom of the stairwell. We're back in the cut. You know what I'm talking about, the spot everybody know about but nobody know about. We're back in the cut. Marcus is there. Jason is there. I'm there. Marcus looks around and he says these exact words. I'm glad he picked you and he didn't pick me. His voice is just as jacked up as mine, and Jason's like, yeah, I heard all about it. We're like 3 donkeys down the bottom of the stairwell. True story. We're all down there. Oh. And here's the crazy thing. The 3 of us, we're still friends to this day. We are still friends to this day. Well, Facebook friends, but friends. You know what I'm saying. I like his stuff. He likes mine. Anyway, the whole reason why I told you that story was not the conversation and the communication I had with Mr. Bond or my class, or even the communication that I had with Marcus and Jason. It's all about the communication I had with myself. If we're going to talk about climate and culture and leadership, we have to talk about the importance of having positive communication with yourself, that positive self-talk. So often negative things happen in schools and in education, and it does. And what do? We're the first ones to put our own self down. We're the first ones to say about how terrible something is. That whole entire exchange, I could have easily just talked myself into, I'm not going to deal with Marcus, I'm not going to read, and I would have never found out Marcus isn't such a bad guy after all. So often we have these opportunities, these moments where we immediately go to the negative. You have to reduce that negative self-talk. Real quick, anybody remember who this guy is? Yeah, there we go. His name was Stuart Smalley. And he was on Saturday Night Live back in the day, right? And he had this really cool bit where he would sit there and he would look in the mirror and he would say, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me, right? And we would laugh, but there's something to be said about positive affirmations. There's something to be said about speaking positivity to yourself. When you're connecting with kids and you're talking to kids, you're always saying, advocate for yourself, say positive things for yourself, but yet we are not the ones to say those things. You gotta have that positive self-talk, even if you are looking in the mirror to say those things. Because there's so many things in education that we just say, we don't even think about it. Here's some questions. What do you say to yourself when you get to work? What do we say to yourself? How was your weekend? Not long enough. Ugh. Come on, we could do better. We could do better. We just say them. I say to teachers all the time, what do you say to yourself before these students enter the classroom? Oh, he's here today. Oh, God. Okay. A bigger laugh than I anticipated. Because he's never absent. Ever absent. What do you say to yourself when the students leave the classroom? Oh, thank God that's over. Oh my gosh. Oh, I wish I had an hour of my life back. Oh, I made it. What do you say to yourself when you leave work? Gotta beat the buses, right? Come on. Yes, I make light of these things, but the whole point of this is making sure that you're saying the positive things to yourself and to others. Because ultimately, what do we want? We want to have a positive culture and climate, right? We want to have an environment that's inviting, where students can learn and where teachers can do their very best. But a lot of times we talk about climate and culture, but we don't really know what climate and culture really is. What is climate? What is culture? So I'm going to shift a little bit in the way that I'm talking. I'm going to go to instructional mode. And what I want to do is I want to actually break down what climate and culture really is, and then what your role in that is in order to maximize it, whether it's at the classroom, school, or even district level. So here's the diagram. This is what we're going to focus on. Now, if you notice, right in the middle of this diagram is the word respect and value. That is the anchor to climate and culture. Climate and culture is all about what you collectively respect and value. I've been to schools, thousands of schools all over the world. And when I go to these schools, sometimes I ask, if I was to ask everyone in this school what you respect and value, would everyone say the same thing? If I went to your school, your district, and asked everybody what you respect and value, would everyone say the same thing? Now, there may be a lot of people who make some positive words or say some positive things, but they're not collectively the same thing. So that's the beginning stages, is finding out what do we all respect and value, whether it's in the classroom alone, school, or district. So let's say, for our sake of argument, for what we say, let's say we're all a part of the Stand Tall Middle School. And we're going to say that we collectively respect and value teamwork, integrity, and accountability. That's our anchor. Now let's talk about climate. What is climate? Climate, represented by the wavy blue line in our diagram. Climate is the emotional state people feel when they enter a space. That's what climate really is. The emotional state people feel when they enter a space. When you talk about the weather outside, what's the climate outside? What do you feel when you go outside? And then you have an emotional connection with that. We're humans, we're people. We have emotions. We emotionally connect to those things. You go inside of different buildings. Sometimes you go into one building, it has a certain feel. You go into another building, it has a certain feel. I can go into one classroom, kids are quiet, head down, taking a test. I walk in, I'm like, oh, this is negative. Oh, the teacher must have just ripped through these kids before I walked in here. I could walk out of that classroom, go right next door, I walk in there, kids are quiet, head down, taking a test. Oh, feels like Disney. Oh, feels so positive, feels really good in here. That's climate. And it's represented by the wavy blue line because climate fluctuates. It changes. It changes month to month, week to week, minute to minute, sometimes second to second. The climate at the beginning of the school year is different than the climate before state testing. Yes? Yes. The climate before winter break is different than the climate on March 12th. Yes? Yes. Have you ever been in a building where a fight breaks out? As news and information of that fight spreads to the building, you can feel the climate change. That's why it's represented by the wavy blue line. Sometimes it's close to what you respect and value, and sometimes it is not. Let's talk about culture. What is culture? Culture is nothing more than a fancy word for traditions. That's what culture really is. Culture is a culmination of traditions that take place in an organization. Traditions are the things you continually do over and over and over again. That creates tradition. And there's two different types of culture. There's your operational culture, represented by the bottom gray line, and then there's your behavioral culture, represented by the top gray line. Let's talk about each one. Your operational culture are the traditional things you do in an organization to make it operate. In a building or a district is creating schedules. How do kids walk into the building? How do they move through the hallways? How do you create the schedule? How do you set up bus schedules? How do you move things through? How do you hold a meeting? How are the procedures? How do you send in a ticket for tech fixes? All the operations of an organization. Even in a classroom, how do students walk in a classroom? How do they turn in homework? How do they do the things? That's the operational culture. Let's talk about behavioral culture. Your behavioral culture is how do people traditionally behave? Better yet, how do people talk to each other? Better yet, what is tolerated? How far is it allowed to go? How do students talk to students? How do students talk to teachers? How do teachers talk to students? How do students talk to administrators? How do administrators talk to students? How do teachers talk to administrators? How do administrators talk to teachers? How do parents talk to teachers? How does everybody talk to each other? How far is it allowed to go? Is it with respect? Is it not respect? What are you doing continually over time with those behaviors? That's our behavioral culture. All right, now we have all of our parts. We have what we say we respect and value: teamwork, integrity, accountability. We have our climate, which is the emotional state people feel. And then we have our operational culture, how we traditionally operate. We have our behavioral culture, how people traditionally behave. Here's the thing, gang. We know that students and staff do better when they feel better, right? Climate is everything. We know when they feel better, you're going to get better outcomes. When people are happy, you'll do well. When people are motivated and morale is good, they do better. So what do we do in schools? We do fun things, neat things, in order to maintain a positive climate. We have spirit days, we have fun events, we give out candies, we give out stickers, we do really neat things in order to hope that people feel better. Don't get me wrong, you need to do those things. But they will not maintain a positive climate over a longer period of time. It just won't happen. Those are all Band-Aids. The only way to maximize and maintain a positive climate over a suspended long of time systemically is to work on the what? The culture. The operational culture and the behavioral culture needs to be in alignment with what you respect and value. When your traditions are in alignment with what you respect and value, then what happens? Those lines move closer together. Those lines move closer together. And when your operational and your behavioral culture are in alignment with teamwork, integrity, and accountability, what happens to the climate? It levels out. It levels out. You don't have those big swells all over the place all the time. Oh my goodness, the behaviors. You hear what these kids are saying? Oh, let's have the conversation, the real conversation after the meeting. Oh, why did we even have this meeting for operational culture? We don't even know what we're doing around here. Teamwork, integrity, and accountability. Teamwork, integrity, and accountability. Teamwork, integrity, and accountability. When those traditional operations and behaviors are in alignment with that, climate levels out. And you notice climate is still wavy. People are people, emotions are emotions. But you don't have those huge swells. Does this make sense? Give me a thumbs up if this makes sense. Yes, this is climate and culture. That's what it is. This is not impossible. It all works and revolves around having a collective understanding of what you respect and value. Now, I get it. You may say, well, my district isn't going to do this. My school isn't going to do this. You can do this in your individual classroom, in your individual department. Have that microculture, that microclimate within the bigger picture of things. It's totally possible. That's what climate and culture really is. Now, here's the thing, gang. I've been to a lot of professional developments. I've been to a lot of conferences throughout my career. And a lot of times people get up here and they make you feel good, but they don't tell you what to do. How do we do this? How do we make this real? I'm going to literally tell you what you need to do to make this real. So let's dive into it. The next thing that needs to happen in order to make this real for the climate and cultures, we need to focus on recognition. Recognition. There is power in having that level of recognition, specifically recognizing students and staff when they do what it is that you respect and value. Now let me clarify about recognition. With recognition is opening your mouth and saying something nice. We're not giving you anything. I'm not giving you a sticker, I'm not giving you a pencil, I'm not giving you a trophy. Recognition is open your mouth and say something nice as it relates to what you respect and value. When you see other people doing it, it's that reaffirmation of those good things that you want to see. And I think in schools, sometimes we got it backwards. I'm going to share this thing. It's called daytime DJ voice, nighttime DJ voice. Daytime DJ voice, nighttime DJ voice. So let's go with the nighttime DJ. So let's say I still listen to the radio. I like the radio. What does the late night DJ sound like? Anybody have a clue? What does the late night DJ sound like? Soft, low and slow, mellow. Would you say sexy? Yeah, girl. Okay, sexy, yeah. Sexy. That's right. Hey, this is Big Steve on the radio, y'all. I want y'all to sit back, relax, listen to these smooth tunes in your ear, right? That's the nighttime DJ voice. Next, we're going to go with daytime DJ. You know what? We're going even better. Morning. Daytime morning DJ voice. What's that sound like? Loud, hyped up, right? Over the top, energetic. Hey, this is Big Steve in the morning. We can't wait to see you out here on the roads. Oh my goodness, the traffic is crazy. The weather is great. Oh my goodness, it's a great thing. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, Santa, right? There you go. That's daytime DJ voice. By the way, best Christmas movie ever. Ever, right? Love it. Second best Christmas movie, Die Hard. It is a Christmas movie. It is. All right, we have our two voices. This is all related to how we talk to each other and talk to students in the school as it relates to recognition. We have our two voices in mind. Daytime DJ voice, whoop, whoop, energetic. Nighttime DJ voice, soft, mellow, soft. I think in education, we're using these voices backwards. Student does something wrong, does something that you don't respect and value. Hey, get over here. How many times I got to talk to you? Go to the office. This isn't right. That's your daytime DJ voice for something negative. Student does something right, something that you respect and value. Good job. Keep it up. Way to go. No, that's your nighttime DJ voice for something good. We're doing it backwards, y'all. Backwards. Student does something you respect and value, something that's good. Oh my gosh, look at you. I'm so proud of you. That's it. Now, I'm not saying for you to do backflips, high kicks, and laser lights and smoke, but at least raise your eyebrows and act like you're happy. Student does something wrong, something that you don't respect and value. Hey, get over here. That's not what we're talking about. Hey, let's figure out what's going on. The only time you should use a daytime DJ voice for something negative is for safety reasons. You have to get their attention. But as soon as you do that, you bring it down to the lowest emotional level. You do this, it's going to change it. It's going to flip the script. We're talking about behavioral culture. If the culture for the behavior is to when you're talking to kids, when they're doing what you respect and value, they're seeing excitement, that's going to change things. I don't care, pre-K to 12th grade, kids love to see adults get hyped up. Why are they only seeing you get hyped up over negative things? Daytime DJ voice, nighttime DJ voice. That's how you make this happen. What else can we do to make this real? How else can we make this environment and your leadership go to the next level? It's a matter of changing your perspective. We have to change the perspective from a compliance mindset to a commitment mindset. That's the difference. Now, in schools and education, we're very compliance-based organizations. We really are. We're compliance-based organizations. We need to be compliance-based organizations. But when you hear the word compliance, let's do a little word association game. When you hear the word compliance, what other words come to mind? Testing, requirements, law, demand, policies, right? Regulations, governance. Now, don't get me wrong. We need to have these things. We do. But to me, when we're thinking about compliance, compliance is a lower level of accomplishment. It is accomplishment, but it's a lower level. I've seen so many different schools, and I've yet to see any school be outrageously successful just being compliant. Just being compliant? If you're compliant and you checked off all the boxes, the probability of you being outrageously successful is not as high as you think it is. Let's keep going with this one. So let's talk about commitment. When we play a little word association with commitment, what other words come to mind when you hear the word commitment? Passion, excitement, energy, support, connection, communication, partnering, accountability, discussion, understanding, results. Now, I don't know about you. If you're going to talk about my school, my department, my class, my district, I'd rather use words like this than the other words. And here's the thing, gang. If you're committed, compliance will take care of itself. Compliance will take care of itself. It's going to happen. You will be compliant by the state standards, by the national standards, by the policy. You will be covered because commitment is when you go above and beyond. If you have that shift in mindset, like I'm committed to what we respect and value. Think back to our culture climate diagram. We're committed to what we respect and value, teamwork, integrity, and accountability. Now you're going to be moving. It's a mind shift. What else can we do to make this real? We're continuing to find ways and strategies that you can implement into your leadership, your connection, your schools, in order to make that environment and your leadership to the next level. The next way to make that happen is individually maximizing your level of integrity. Integrity. Integrity is everything, gang. Well, let me give a definition of integrity, because some people have different understandings of what integrity is. Integrity, some people say, is what you say and do when no one else is looking. I disagree. Integrity is what you say and do when everybody's looking. Integrity is a set of beliefs, values, and actions other people can depend on. A set of beliefs and values, we talked about values, right? beliefs and values, and you act those beliefs and values out, and other people can depend on those beliefs and values on a regular basis. That's the difference. You know, when I got through 8th grade, as I told you before, 5'8", 6'3", voice, had all the issues and problems, but I made it through 8th grade and I got into 9th grade. My transition from middle school to high school was actually quite seamless. It was very, very good. Now, when I got to 9th grade, I was in the band. I'm a trumpet player. I played trumpet for years and years and years. So I was a trumpet player, and I went to my band director. His name was Mr. Salati. Let me give you a mental image of Mr. Salati. Mr. Salati was a very tall and burly guy, big-chested, kind of chubby. He was taller than me. He was like 6'8", 6'9". He was a huge guy. Had like this little mustache and like a Beatles mop haircut. He was a goofy guy. So I went to my band director, Mr. Salati, and I said, hey, I want to try out for all-state band. Now, that's a thing we had in New Jersey. You can be an all-South Jersey band or North Jersey band, but then if you really were good, you could try out for all-state band, and you had practices and everything. So he said to me, you know what, Steve, you're pretty good, but I think you need some additional practice in order to get to the auditions. The auditions are about 3 months out. Why don't we do this? Every Thursday after school, stop by the band room. We'll have a lesson to get you ready for all-state band. I said, sounds good. That's good. Now, as I said before, it's a walking town. Everybody walked out the same hallway. At the end of that hallway was the band room, and that was Mr. Salati's spot every day. I'd walk out, Mr. Salati would be there every Thursday, come on in, we have our lesson. So we agreed to this, and then Mr. Salati, he did this weird thing. He grabbed me by the shoulders, he looked me in the eye, and he said, Steve, I promise to be there for you, buddy. And I was like, all right, man, like, get off, dude, that's weird, what are you doing, right? So we started having lessons. I stopped by every Thursday, I started getting better. Mr. Salati was happy. Now, unknown to Mr. Salati, I had an issue with another student. I didn't like him, he didn't like me. He started talking trash on me, I started talking trash on him. He started talking more trash on me, I started talking more trash on him. It got so bad that eventually we decided that we were going to have a fight. And I learned how to fight, so I was ready. Now, the problem is that the fight was going to be after school on what day? Thursday. Now, in my school, in my district, all the fights happened at the swim club. You walk out of school, you duck behind the swim club, you knock each other out, you come out, nobody knows. I don't know how the cops and the teachers didn't know. All the fights happened at the swim club. So we're going to have this fight on Thursday. My thought was I just have to get past Mr. Salati. If I get past Mr. Salati, it's going to be on. I can't stand this guy. I wasn't even nervous. I knew I could take him out. So the Thursday finally came. And of course, whenever a fight spreads in school, what happens? It spreads throughout social media. Everybody finds out. What was social media when I was growing up? It was a folded up piece of paper. You pull out one corner, it opens up like a lotus flower. Remember that, right? Remember that? Forget the social electronic stuff. We used to pass notes and talk to each other. So word spread throughout the school about this fight on Thursday. Instantly, I got 25 brand new friends in my ear all day. The day finally came. I didn't learn anything that day. That whole day, I was like, oh man, I can't wait for this guy. And people were in my ear. Yo, Steve, he's talking about you. Yeah, you talk about him. Yo, man, he's talking about your mama. My mama, yo, you talk about his mama. Last period of the day, I'm in science class. I'm looking at the clock. I couldn't wait. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Ring. Eventually, the bell rang. I'm like, let's go. Me and my 25 brand new friends walking in the hallway. We were walking like it was slow motion with a soundtrack. I turned the corner, and for the first time, Mr. Salati was not at his post. Word, let's do this. I get to the end of the hallway, boom, out steps Mr. Salati. Hey, Steve, come on in for your trumpet lesson. Let's go, man. Now, how cool do I look with this big old dude talking about, let's have a trumpet lesson. I'm about to go fight someone. So I changed everything about me. Nah, not today, Mr. S. Go ahead, bro. I got somewhere to go, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro. What are you talking about, Steve? Tryouts are in 3 weeks. Let's go, buddy. Nah, man, go ahead somewhere. I got somewhere I got to go. Back that stuff up. My friends are like, yeah, we got him, Mr. S. Don't worry about it, bro. We got him. Steve, get in the band room. I told you I'm not going anywhere with you. Steve, in the band room. What you going to do? I'm going to do anything with you? Yeah, back off, man. And then Mr. Salati put me in a headlock and drug me into the band room. Remember when you can manhandle kids? You can't touch them now. You can't touch them now. Back in the day, you can move them around. Nobody said anything. Nobody said anything in the 80s. Nobody said anything. But he did. He gripped me up. He wrestled me into the band room. I'm in the band room. I'm pacing back and forth. Get the horn. Just get the horn. Steve, what is going on? Nothing. Get the horn. My friends are looking in the window. Yo, man, let him out. Hey, come on, Mr. S. What's going on, man? Hey. He gets the horn. I take my trumpet. I sit down. I have my lessons. I'm playing angry notes. He's over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, crescendo. At the end of the lesson, he starts talking music theory. I'm just like, come on. Eventually, he lets me go. I get my things. I run to the pool, swim club. Nobody's there. Daggone it. Looks like I punked out. And I talked so much trash. So I just walked home. Later on that evening, I get a phone call. Ring. Hello? And I have to do it like this. It's back in the 80s. It's not this. It's this right here. Ring. Hello? It's my friend Stanford. Yo, what's up, Stan? What's up, man? Yo, bro, where were you at, man? Man, Mr. Salati, he had me after school. He gripped me up, man. There's nothing I could do about it, bro. Yo, bro, everybody was there. Yeah, I know. Yo, bro, you lucky you weren't there. Wait, what, man? Are you kidding me? No, he's lucky I wasn't there. Nah, man, you lucky. Yeah, why? He had a gun. What? Yeah, man, he had a gun. He was waving it around and everything. I got another phone call, my friend Bernard. He had a gun. Another phone call, my friend Jason. He had a gun. Because of Mr. Salati's integrity might be the reason why I'm here right now. He could have easily said, you know what, I don't like your attitude. Get out of here. But what did he say? Steve, I promise to be there for you. Even when I didn't want him to be. Integrity is a set of beliefs, values, and actions other people can depend on, whether they want to or not. If your beliefs and values are anchored in what it is that you say you respect and value, and you're acting them out consistently, does that increase the probability of success of others joining in on that? Yes. That's what integrity is. By the way, I got into all-state band. I was scared. I actually told my father about what was going on, my parents. My father said, next time you see him, they went to the school, they took care of it, but I remember my father said, next time you see him, you shake his hand and tell him we're all good. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm not going to do anything to that dude, you know. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember what the argument was about. But the next time I saw him, I said, yo, man, we good? And we shook hands. It was good. That's integrity. How can you protect your integrity? How can you maximize your integrity? 4 ways to make that happen. Number 1, speak out for what keep your promises. If you have a promise, you do whatever's necessary to make that promise take place. Those are your big events, big situations. Number 2, speak out for what you believe in. If you believe in what it is you respect and value, you need to say so. Remember, kids are listening to everything that you say and everything that you don't say. Number 3, be fair. Err on the side of fairness. When making decisions, find the most fair way of doing it. It's not all about what can I get out of it. It's about what we can get out of this. And not only just be fair to others, be fair to yourself. Are you one of those people just give it to me, I got it, I'll just do it, it's easier if I just do it, and now you have all this on your shoulders and you can't be the best that you can be in everything because you got too much on you. Be fair to yourself and be fair to others. And number 4, do what you say you're going to do. These are your everyday activities. You say you're going to show up at 2 o'clock, show up at 2 o'clock. You say you're going to follow up, follow up. You say you're going to email, email. You say you're going to check in, check in. Different than promises. Promises are your big events, big situations. These are what you say you're going to do. You do these 4 things, that maximizes your level of integrity. Last thing, how we can make this real. Last way to make this real is through relationships. And I think you guys know this. You know the value of relationships and the importance of it. Now, before I jump into my last topic and give you the last bit of information before we roll on to the rest of our conference, very quickly, that diagram that I shared with you about culture and climate, if you want that, if you could scan this, give me some feedback. I will share it with the organization. I'm sure they will have their own evaluations, but I'm going to share this with the organization. It helps me continue on. And you just type in the word climate, and then you'll be able to get that diagram right to you. So I appreciate that. I know it'll take a little bit of a second, and usually I give some pause time so you can fill out the form, but unfortunately we're short on time, and I want to make sure I keep going with everybody. So if you scan that, you do that, we should be good to go. And just before you do that also, if you're an educator, this is my quick commercial, if you're an educator who wants to speak, train, or consult like this, or get on stages, or go to PDs and really help other educators, and you don't know how to get into it and get started, please stop by my table and talk with me. I have a program called Within Our Ranks. It's all about training for educators who want to speak professionally. If you're interested, just stop by. I'd be glad to help you out, get you directed in the right way. All right, gang? Thanks. So relationships. The number one way I feel that you can maximize relationships is being original, sharing what's original to you with others. It's a little vulnerable. Sometimes not everybody's going to like what's original to you, but that's the way that happens. So what I want to do on wrapping up is I want to share with you what's original to me. I'm going to share with you so that way we can develop a good relationship. So what's original to me is I love barbecue. I am a barbecue nut. I love it. I cook barbecue all the time. I eat barbecue all the time. I went to a place just yesterday in town. They had a barbecue spot here. I eat it. I mean, I have 12 barbecue grills at my house. 12. I'm not lying. Seriously, like this is my backyard, y'all. I mean, I go to town. I have my green egg, I got my griddle, got my offset stick burner, got a water smoker, got my direct grill. And this isn't even everything I have. I got like 4 Webers. I love grill. I love it so much, I have an Instagram channel called Stand Tall Barbecue, where I travel the world and I try out different barbecues and I give reviews. Please like, follow, and subscribe. That's my thing. I can geek out over barbecue for hours at a time. Hours at a time. Something else that's original to me is I love costumes. I love dressing up. And I'm serious, like Halloween is my jam. Like it's coming. I dress up all the time. When I was a building administrator, building principal, if it was a quiet day, I would just put on a random costume. It would be a normal day to see me walk around like this. For no reason. And my kids, my family would get into it. We go to Comic-Cons. I make a great Nick Fury. I don't care what you say. I make an awesome black eye patch, bald head. I win. Right? We go all out. At my school, we would have different events. I would tell the kids, come dressed up for the event. We had a pirate event. We had an assembly. I says, kids, come to school as pirates. And they all did. And everyone did it. That was my assistant principal in the background there. Everybody did it. Sometimes I show my true identity. Mr. Incredible, right? Mr. Incredible, right? I have fun. Obviously, I love humor. I love to laugh. In my district, the superintendent told all the school principals that we have to have a photo of ourselves in the front of the building. So if anybody comes in, they know who the leadership is. This was my photo for 8 years. I did. It was great. I have fun with it. I love charity. In my school one year, we had 7 type 1 diabetics. 7 kids had type 1 diabetes. So we did the Juvenile Diabetes Research Kids Walk. We were the #1 kids walk in the nation for 5 years. We raised over $75,000 for juvenile diabetes. You just share what's original to you. Oh, this is my Borg. I'm a Trekkie. I had a Borg costume at one time. Let me leave with this. We had a student. His name was David. David Azer, actually. Awesome kid. 5th grade student. This is when I was a teacher. And David had like a little Tigger bounce in his step. He was a happy kid. Everybody loved David. The thing about David is David was a soccer phenom, meaning like he was phenomenal in soccer. There were articles about him. He was actually on television. It was just unreal how good this kid was in soccer. So Dave was on this very high-end traveling soccer team, and his coach was actually a former U.S. soccer player. Like he was in it. One day when they were at practice, the coach was playing with the boys, and the coach was showing off. He accidentally gave a really big kick. David got in the way, and he kicked David, and he fractured his femur. I know, it was terrible. It was bad. News went through town very, very quickly. So, unfortunately, David had to have this big black cast on his leg. When he came back to school, David wasn't David anymore. He just wasn't himself. Me and some teachers tried to cheer him up, but nothing worked. So I had an idea. I went to David's parents and I said, hey, is David going to the Halloween party at the end of the month? And they said, no, I don't think he's going to go. I said, I have a costume. Can I come by your house, put him in the costume, and take him to the party? They said, yeah, go for it. So I showed up at his house and I put David into the costume. This is David. Me and his father helped him get into the car. We took him to the party. He got first place. He got first place. Next day in school, David was back. He was happy, he was energetic, he was crutching with excitement and vigor. Why? Because I shared what was original to me with them. That's what it's all about, gang. Sharing that original self, developing those relationships. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking you now know what climate and culture is. You understand what leadership is all about, developing that positive self-talk, daytime and nighttime DJ voice. That's what it's all about, being original. Now, my statement is when you stand tall, you don't think small. Yes, it has to do with being tall, but it also has to do with when you learn something new, you're metaphorically standing taller. And if you're standing taller, you can't think smaller. Now, I have this button here, and it has 6'7" on it. And I wear this button because people shut up and stop asking me how tall I am, but also as a reminder to stand tall through it all. Please stop by my table. I have buttons from 5 foot all the way up to 6'8" for all of you. Come by, get a button to show that you stand tall through it all. Hey, thank you so much, gang. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful conference. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, good night. Thank you so much.